You could do things 95% perfect and still have a disastrous outcome. If you do things 95% perfect, you're going to have a lot of ups because the other 5% is not perfect. Kevin always has a long question. But you're always in there early, Kevin, so we're going to do it. Kevin says, hi, Derek. Thanks for another great educational week. Thank you again for answering my questions as well. I'm looking to invest in capital equipment for my business just to get going. We learned in the previous modules from the graph, we spend capital investment, occur losses before the break even, and eventually turn a profit if successful. What sort of advice would you give me if you were in my situation? I know I need to invest upfront capital, get a chance to start and grow the business, but the loss aversion bias seems to kick in every now and then since the capital expenditure is out of my comfort price range. I know I have to work at understanding even more about my target market and look for ways to create more additional consumer surplus. Perhaps the loss aversion will be resolved better after this is accomplished. Just wanted to hear your thoughts and opinions. Thank you again. Well, it depends what kind of investment that you're thinking about making. Now, I don't know, and this is not the context to tell me, every detail of, your current business model or what you're thinking about investing in. It's something that we do on a one-on-one call, where we'd have a conversation about, at the right mastermind group thing. So, yeah, I wish I could tell you. There's not a blanket answer. There's not a one-size-fits-all answer. It's like, I have to know a little bit more about you personally. I have to know what is this guy great at? What are the liabilities? If I'd looked at the balance sheet of your life, of what are your assets, you as a person, what are your current, skills, knowledge, ability, tenacity, persistence, etc. What are the assets on the balance sheet? Then we have to say, what are the liabilities on the balance sheet? Where is this fella a little bit weak? And everybody has a couple liabilities. Everybody has a lot of liabilities, frankly. And there's some that are worth fixing and some that are not worth fixing. You might suck at golf. I suck at golf. You know what? I don't give a. I'm not going to be a golfer. In my lifetime, I can hit the ball, but it's not golf. I can hit the ball. It can go a long way, but I don't have the precise control that you need to make it beautiful and be a good quality golfer. So I can hit the ball. It'll go a long way. But again, it's imprecise, and I don't care enough to build in the precision. I've just accepted, I'm not going to be great at golf. So a person has to make a decision. What are the things that you want to be great at, and what are the things that you're willing to pay the price to be great at? I got a piano in the other room over here. Cost of almost $200,000. I don't know how to play the piano. I like looking at it. If I press a few buttons, it plays itself. It does an amazing job, and it's extraordinary. It's like laser guided and extremely precise, and it's like having Elton John in your, in the building with you. It's amazing. So I wish I could play the piano at a high level, but I'm not willing to pay the price to do that. I'm not going to spend the time. I'm not going to make the effort. So there's some things that you're willing to pay the price to have high quality outcomes in a particular area. Most things, you're not going to do that. Wouldn't it be nice to speak every language in the world? Yeah, but it's not practical to learn every language in the world. Especially when you have a phone that'll translate a lot of things for you, then it's really, really impractical. All right, so you have to decide what, of the many things that you suck at, me and you and everybody else, what are the ones that are worth fixing? And, be resigned to pay that price. But most things you're not going to be good at. So, you have to answer a question of what are the things that you're going to say no to, so you could say yes to the things that you want most. And that should be like tattooed on your arm, perhaps. What are the things that I will say no to, so I can say yes to the things that I want most? And the only answer is, nearly everything. You have to say no to nearly everything else. I'm not going to get distracted with golf. I'm not going to get distracted with the piano. I'm not going to get distracted with bazillion other things, but I am going to be even better at finance, at economics. I'm going to be making better decisions as time goes on in the areas that will be most valuable to me. I'm going to make sure that I'm more guarded with my time in the future, that I want to spend less time doing things that aren't extremely valuable. I have to spend much less time doing things that are not extremely valuable. extremely valuable. So, you know, you have to answer those questions for yourself. And then you have to think, does your current business plan fit in with those bigger goals or aspirations? And, are you willing, if you spent the money, would you do the rest of the work that you need to in the background to be sure that it's a success, to make sure that you're winning? If something changed in the economy, if something changed in the world that impaired your current plan, what would your backup plan be? And your other backup plan, and your third backup plan, and so on? What would that look like? How do you make sure that something there was a success? And then, then you'll make a decision that the anxiety you're feeling about, you say, loss aversion, you're probably feeling that because you're not fully committed. Or you want to be committed, but you still feel, that you have some big voids or some things that you need to learn, which makes sense, by the way. So, if you don't understand we didn't create 3 courses just because, we created 3 courses, real estate riches. Markets mastery is coming next, then real estate riches. Right now we're here in the original course, the OG course about entrepreneurship, about the fundamentals of small business. This is a great place to start. If you can't understand a small business, how would you understand a big business? If you can't understand a small business, how would you be a good investor in stocks? And if you can't understand a small business or a big business, how would you really understand the real estate market? How would you understand how macroeconomic factors or microeconomic factors are going to affect real estate prices, in different local markets around the country and around the world? How would you be able to make those decisions if you didn't understand how a business works? The 3 things go together. It's called the Trinity of Wealth. We didn't accidentally call it that, or we didn't say it because thought the shit sounded cute. It's called the Trinity of Wealth because those 3 things combined together. If you really understand those 3 things, it becomes hard to fuck it up. Now, if you don't understand, those 3 things, if you understand one, you should feel anxious. Your brain is telling you the truth that, like, man, I'm not prepared. If you understand 2 things, well, that's nice, and you probably can make some money. You probably do a lot better than most people would do, if that's your highest aspiration, I guess. But when you understand those 3 things, and you understand that, well, there's always an opportunity to make money. Market's going up, make money. Market's going down, make money. Market's going sideways, participate in a different market that has more volatility, make money. But the worst thing that could happen is the market goes flat forever, and volatility is your friend. That's where people make irrational decisions in both directions, and volatility is your friend in that way. So if the market stays flat, it's hard to make money when nothing happens in the world. So the good news is there's always some drama. There's always a something. But you're gonna, where there's volatility, there's opportunity. When there's uncertainty, there's opportunity. And if you're feeling uncertain about taking action to take advantage of opportunities, your brain's probably telling you right that you're not prepared. You're not prepared. And probably the best way to prepare is go through those 3 courses. Take them again as an observer. Make sure you actually understand the shit, inside and out. Don't confuse proficiency with mastery. Don't be confused that you have a basic skill set or a proficiency, and then you think you're a master of something, because that's absurd. That's ridiculous. So don't have that confusion. That, I was talking with a couple of my fighter friends recently. I was talking with Frank Mir on Monday, and I was talking to another gentleman today that I'll bring on the call with me tomorrow, about this proficiency versus mastery. And there's a whole lot of things in the world that you could do everything, that you could do things 95% perfect, 95% perfect, and still have a disastrous outcome, still fuck it up badly. If you do things 95% perfect, you're going to have a lot of fuck ups, because the other 5% is not perfect. And not everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be some mistakes. But if you think 95% perfect is good, you're fucked. You're going to make some really bad decisions at the worst times, and you'll see. You'll see. I don't want to say it in such an ominous, gloomy way, but there's no other way to say it. That if you have I know how to do the thing. I halfway paid attention in the course. I know how to do the thing. you know what? When the opportunity comes up to do the thing, you don't get to go review the course. You got to take action with the information you have. You have to take action with the skills, the knowledge, the wisdom, the resources that you gathered during calm times. So when there's chaos, you don't get to learn new things in the moment. You're going to have to use the skills that you have. You're going to have to use the resources that you have. And if you're not building those resources during calm times, you're not going to be prepared for the tumultuous times. And the tumultuous times is where all the money in the world is made. Is where all the money is made when people are scared and people are panicking, and you can be calm and you can be confident and be like, hey, the opportunity you've been waiting for has arrived. I get excited when there's turmoil in the market. I get excited. Look at the charts today. Look at the S&P chart today. You see at the beginning of the Fed meeting, there's an expectation of slowing down the rate hikes. You can see it in the chart. I didn't watch the meeting, by the way. I can see it in the chart. I know what happened. There was some market anticipation that maybe they're going to raise a 0.5% or 0.25% instead of 0.75%. And you see at the beginning of the meeting, the chart's going up, that the S&P graph is getting higher, right? And then you see it falls off. And then you see it goes up a little bit more, and then it kind of jostles around. And I don't have to watch the meeting to know what happened. I know I could look at the chart and I know what happened in the meeting. So they raised 0.75 point again, and they're probably signaling that they might do it again in the future. So I'll look at the minutes later. When I'm in bed later tonight, I'll actually look at the notes, but I already know what happened. I can look at the chart and see what happened. That's fine. I don't want a flat chart. If there's a flat chart, then nothing's moving. It's hard to make money when nothing's happening in the economy. You need volatility in the economy to make money. So that's your friend. But if you don't understand in detail what's happening, why it's happening, and what that means for future happenings, you're right to feel scared. You'll probably fuck it up. And 95% perfect is still shit. Imagine if you drove 95% perfect. What if you only closed your eyes and took your hands off the wheel 5% of the time? What if 95% of the time you were very focused, especially in city traffic? You had both hands on the wheels, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, nice grip on the wheel, not too firm, not too loose. You're attentive, you're responsive. Look at your mirrors once in a while. Look at that mirror, that mirror, that mirror. Okay, everything looks good. All right, but then, just 5% of the time you just, took your hands off the wheels, closed your eyes, pressed the pedals in some random alternating fashion. How would that turn out? Would that work good in the city? Would it work any better on the interstate? Would that be a good time to close your eyes and take your hands off the wheel and just slam the brakes on randomly? Or push the gas pedal to the floor randomly? Would that be a good strategy? Yeah. So why do you do that with your financials? Why do you allow your financial life to be that way? Where you're 95% good and then find a way to fuck it up? It's a sin. You guys are doing that to yourselves. You're doing that to yourselves. It's sad. Stop it. Stop it. Some people are confused. They say, Derek, what is the 10 Commandments of wealth? Not the 10 maybes of wealth. It's the 10 core things that you're going to need to know about in detail if you'd like to accumulate significant wealth in your lifetime. Click this link up here to find more information of exactly what is the 10 Commandments of wealth, how is the program structured, what's inside of it, how are you going to benefit from it. If you're doing well already and you'd like to do better, click that link and find out more. There's over 100 hours of content in this program. I've interviewed dozens of world champions that shared what it took for them to win, to be the top Hall of Fame athletes in their respective areas. And I brought a lot of other superstars in there from business, from legal, people that are real world entrepreneurs that made serious money, as I have myself. We all share with you what are the foundations you're going to need to know if you want to be successful yourself. Be a chooser, not a loser. Click that link, find out more. I'll see you inside.